Hey guys, it's Yu. Welcome back to Frugality and Finance. Alright, so today I want to talk about my goals for 2022. Coming up with these goals was a little easier and a little harder than last year, just because I do know that a lot is probably going to change with my finances this year, and because of these changes, I will have a few more options thinking about what I want to do with my money moving forward. Alright, so my very first goal is to pay off all of my student loans. And if I do this, I will officially become debt-free. You know, hopefully that'll last a while, but who knows what'll happen in the future. But that really is my number one goal. It has really been my number one goal for a while now. The only thing that's different now is that it's a lot closer, and it will probably happen this year if things go well, and I'm really hoping for that. So right now, my mom is actually helping me pay off my student loans. So according to more recent calculations of my debt payoff progress, net worth, and just figuring out how much interest I still owe on my loans, I am forecasting that I will likely be debt-free by either April or May 2022. That is 5 months from now. Just the fact that I can comfortably say that I will be debt-free in X number of months. Like, that's such a big deal to me. I used to have to say years plural. Obviously, this is dependent on both mine and my mom's income, but hopefully things will go well and I will be able to say that I'm debt-free sometime soon. With that comes my next goal, which is to build my emergency fund. Now, I have given this some thought, and generally the consensus is that you have to save up around 6 months of your expenses to have your fully funded emergency fund. And I can do that. I don't really have an exact number planned out yet, but I think it's gonna be between $3,000 and $6,000 or something like that. And even that will probably be too much because I have very few expenses. If you don't follow my channel, I live at home with my parents and I don't pay for anything. And I realize that that sounds like I'm incredibly spoiled, and that's because I am. So I'm gonna take advantage of my situation right now and save up as much money as I can. But since I have such low expenses, I don't think my emergency fund is gonna be the size of any other regular person with their own place, with their own apartment, house, whatever. Along with the fact that once I pay off my student loans, I just won't have debt, so I won't owe any money to anyone. The only thing I would need to cover are basically any living expenses outside of housing, pretty much. So it's gonna be mainly transportation, education, whatever. And because it is an emergency fund, I'm gonna have to think realistically, what would an emergency really be? The way I see it is my car could break down and I would have to buy another car. So I would need enough money to perhaps replace my car with a functioning car. That's not to say that it's gonna be a new car because I don't want to go into car debt again. Or the other possibility is that I lose my main source of income. And although that would probably be pretty bad, it wouldn't be an emergency to me. At least it's not anymore. It would have been an emergency to me a year ago. But if I do not have a main source of income, I have nowhere to commute to. So therefore, my transportation expenses will be effectively maybe $50 a month on gas and tolls. I don't know where I'd be going, but that's probably what my transportation expense is gonna be. The other thing is that because I have set my parents up in such a great financial position through budgeting and just tackling their financial goals, they actually have more than enough money to cover my student loan payments if it ever gets to that point. And I will probably not ever let it get to that point. I would probably find myself some other source of income and things will be okay. So really the only emergency that I need to cover is if my car breaks down and I actually really have somewhere I need to be going. So that's kind of my mindset right now with emergencies. And I know YNAB has a great feature of saving up for different funds, for different categories, and I think I'm going to be taking full advantage of all that when I do plan out my emergency fund. So once I do have my emergency fund set up, I am gonna want to finally start aggressively investing. The first part of my aggressive investing plan will be to max out my Roth IRA. I say my Roth IRA without actually having a Roth IRA yet, so first step is probably getting a Roth IRA, and next step is fully funding my Roth IRA for the year, so that's gonna be $6,000. I'm probably just gonna do a lump sum contribution and be done with it. The main thing I want to do after that is to pay at least half of my parents' mortgage every month so that I'm kind of helping them out because they helped me so much with my student loans, and this way their mortgage could be paid down a little bit faster, but they're really not in a rush to pay it off. We kind of go back and forth in this conversation whether it's worth it to pay off the house early or if we should just pay it off a little bit slowly but a little bit more aggressively than they have been in the past, and just do some remodeling or upgrades to the house, or just spend their money on things that they enjoy, which I think are all really valid points, especially when you've worked so hard and have gotten to a point in your life where you just want to enjoy your money. So I'm completely fine with them doing whatever, but I know that I want to at least contribute a little bit of my income to help them in their goals like they have with mine. And then I have some money left over that I need to figure out what to do with. Here is my dilemma. I really want to max out my Roth 401k for the year. I have never done this before. I recently started investing in my 401k again up to the company match. My other issue is that I kind of also want to start saving up for a house because I just want to have the money just in case. So my real dilemma is, do I want to send $20,500 to a 401k, Roth, you know, tax-free growth, earning a decent percentage on that money that I contribute, or putting that money in a high-yield savings account to use as my down payment? I don't know. And I'm also nervous to put that money into a taxable brokerage if I want to use it for a down payment because I don't want to lose my down payment, that's all. I'm completely fine with leaving money in, you know, a retirement account that I'm not going to touch for years and years and years. But if I want to save up for a down payment, I want things to be a little bit more stable. And I'm not really sure what I want to do yet, but I really wanted to include both of these in this video because that's just something that I'm not entirely sure yet, and I think my mind will probably change between now and the time when I'll actually have to be making that decision. Honestly, the progress on these goals will be very gradual because a lot of them will not begin without another one completing, so they are very dependent on the previous goal, and that's just how 2022 is gonna go, and I'm really excited for it because I can finally see myself kind of completing certain steps to get to the next one, and I really do like concentrating on one thing at a time. However, with this last goal, I'm not entirely sure what I want to do yet. Maybe I just want to kind of divide that $20,000 into the two different goals because I'm not really in a rush to buy a house, but it would be nice to have money just in case I do, just in case I find something that I like, or if there's some other opportunity there for that money. I'm not really sure. I would appreciate your input, and thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic new year, and I hate to be this person, but I'll see you next year.